Welcome to Wrestling, and it's been a while, guys, which is something I generally say, it seems like every time we have an episode, but it has been a while, because last weekend, we didn't have an episode, but we are here this week, and we are going to talk about wrestling and, well, a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff today. Some good, some horrible, but we'll get you guys caught up on stuff. So, I am joined today by my co-host, Justin, in Ring Art. Justin, how are you today, Justin?
Hanging in there. Not too bad. Long work week. A lot of stuff happened in the world of wrestling and all that stuff, too.
Since this is the beginning of the episode, why don't you give a quick pre-announcement of some of the plans around WrestleMania weekend?
Yeah, it hasn't been officially announced yet, but maybe by the time that this
is up
airs, it looks like I'm going to be involved in the pop-up with Wrestling for Sale / Cheap Heat out here in Los Angeles on the 31st of March. More details will come, and You'll be up to date over at Wrestling for Sale and in Ring Art. So I'll be posting stuff as it and also we will actually probably looks like we're going to be meeting each other in person for the first time for that weekend. And the biggest news to me is it looks like we're probably going to be doing a in-person podcast that week. Is in a realm of possibility.
Definitely in the realm of possibility, leaning towards the realm of going to happen. It's going to be exciting. And, everything worked out this year because, my co-host lives there. My sister lives there, near there. And so it's going to be great. And with WrestleMania, all the hardcore fans are going to be there too. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And, this is once every 10, 20 years that they run WrestleMania in SoCal, So
yeah, definitely. When's the last one they did here? It was probably 20 maybe, or when they had it in Staples Center.
They did a WrestleMania at Staples Center?
Yeah, I think they did. It was the WrestleMania Goes Hollywood one or whatever. WrestleMania 20 maybe. I
forget that WrestleMania used to just be in normal arenas.
Yeah. But I think it's looking like, I bet you this will be a pretty frequent stop for them, with like New Orleans and, Florida, those kind of, it'll be in the rotation.
If it's one of the biggest markets in America, which LA, I believe, is the second biggest market, probably almost tied for first. They're going to come here. You know what I mean?
Well, so yeah, the first thing they need to do this is to actually, be a legit travel destination that people would want to go to even if there wasn't WrestleMania. And
true. Yeah.
That does, I think, encompass Los Angeles.
Yeah, and it's only going to get crazier considering that the Olympics will be in LA and not that long from now, about,
28.
6 years? Yeah. So, 5
years.
The infrastructure is already pretty great for this, so it's really exciting. This reminds me more of like the New York City WrestleMania. And this is, obviously we are in a kind of post-COVID world. Not saying it doesn't exist and isn't fucking killing people, but at the same time, things are opened up, especially in America. So I'm hoping there's a lot of sideshows announced, and we'll be seeing what comes up. Justin and I have talked about wanting to go to sideshows. We have a lot of options, and there'll be more. Now, I'll tell you this, what I just saw, Justin, is Miyu Yamashita and Maki Ito will both be wrestling in North America like a couple days before WrestleMania. So I'm thinking they might have something that weekend, too.
We'll see.
That would make sense.
I know there's a lot of little venues around here that can host it. I don't know how quickly you can put it together, but I'm pretty sure we'll have to be finding these things out in the next week or two. to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would hope. I wish, it's gotten better, but I wish they would do something like a DDT comes to Los Angeles type of thing, or Tokyo Joshi Pro comes to USA. I think that would be pretty cool, seeing a promotion that you literally have never been able to see barely in America.
Yeah, I just don't know if there's the market for that. But I mean, I guess if there was going to be any time.
There was in New York. They had a Stardom show and a DDT show.
Yeah, I just don't know how many venues there are here too. I mean,
there's got to be a shitload, bro.
Well,
for that size and that certain, size, yeah, you're right. But it is going to be exciting. So yeah, you can meet us both in person, and we will have more announcements on that soon, because we know that's your goal is to get signatures and autographs.
Well, listen, man, if there was enough people that reached out and wanted to do a meetup for that weekend, we would be down and we would find a place to do that. But I don't think we're that big yet. But also, just to clear the record here, we have no plans as of now, unless something crazy happens, to even go to WrestleMania.
No, that doesn't interest me that much, dude.
Yeah.
Although I guess, it's like the Tokyo Dome. It's like, it's something I would like to do eventually. I mean, I already expect, like, the wrestlers look like ants because they're going to be tiny.
Yeah.
And I'll be staring at the screen most of the night.
Well, you know, SoFi does have a really awesome screen, and it would probably be a really good experience. I just don't want to go through the hassle and length of a WWE crowd and show.
I don't know if my anxiety would let me be in a crowd that huge. I don't think I've been around a crowd that huge in forever. I mean, even AEW was a lot, So you multiply that by 10, and it's like, oh, geez.
And that's kind of a really, like, it's pretty much an indoor stadium. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I saw the picture you sent me. There's like a little opening, right?
It's like open along the sides, but then it's got a roof.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It is.
So it's play in the rain.
It's a really, really cool place. It is a very awesome stadium, and the vantage points are really good. It's definitely like it's the most unique stadium experience I've been to. So,
Justin, I might tell you this. I don't think I've ever been in an NFL stadium ever.
Yeah, you never been to an NFL game or a college game?
No. Well, Broncos tickets are stupidly expensive, and they sell out every time. And I have been seeing Air Force. I saw Air Force, right?
Well, that's a real stadium, yeah.
That is a stadium, although it's only really one side. The other side is where all the school kids sit.
The student section.
Yeah, and they do push-ups when they score and stuff. But it's pretty big, but, like, I never been to, like, actual Broncos game or nothing, because people have told me the tickets are, like, hundreds of dollars for crap tickets.
When I lived in Colorado, I went to Folsom Field for a game.
Folsom Field? Oh, the CU. That's kind of a smaller one, right?
Yeah, it's probably 50,000. I don't know. It's it's on the smaller.
No way, it's that many, dude.
50,000
is a big stadium.
No, like. University of Michigan, they have 100,000 seat stadiums.
Well, okay, colleges do have the biggest ones. You're right. But they have like stupid.
Here, I'll look at full. Man, we're really going off topic.
I'm here right now. Okay, it said I need to put my glasses on. Okay, 50,000. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's bigger than I thought.
Yeah, it's small for a football stadium. That's about the size like a big baseball stadium would take 50,000, but
I think we could argue on that, but we'll talk about that another time. Anyways, let's get back onto the topic at hand, and let's make a quick hairpin turn into something a little less. Well, I won't say less exciting, but it's hard to segue into something like this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something that obviously, rocked the wrestling world this week was the passing of Jay Briscoe in a car crash. And, I mean, I know I kind of messaged you about it, right?
You were the one who told me about it.
Yeah, I think whatever it was that Tuesday, I was just kind of going through, sometimes you just kind of scroll through your social media and don't really read the notes. You just kind of, and I just was kind of going through it maybe at work or something, and I kept like, why is everyone, there's a lot of Jay Briscoe pictures, like what's going on? And I come to find out that he died, and it's just kind of shocking. Then eventually you click on enough of the stories and you find out that it was an accident, and then you find out it was a car wreck.
And then his kids were there.
You find out that both adults in the crash died.
Yeah.
And the kids were, I was like, so my first instinct is, oh my God, these kids just lost their parents. Wasn't exactly the case. Doesn't make it less.
No, it's just as bad.
But I mean, honestly, it wasn't quite as big overall, obviously, in terms of who it was in the news, but it just had like kind of a Kobe Bryant feel to it.
It's a big deal. I mean, obviously, and we both know that because of the influence and because of the talent and skill of Jay. And of course, we can't talk about Jay without talking about Mark as well. I mean, they are the Briscoe brothers, and it's huge. It's huge. I mean, these guys were never wrestled in WWE or anything like that because of a tweet that cost him stuff. And by the way, I just want to state real quick, a lot of people were saying that Jay was constantly trying to improve, and he would ask, some wrestler friends or maybe queer wrestling friends, like, how can I improve? Help me understand,
No, and that's what's coming out now is a lot of people from that LGBT community that kind of cross paths with him are kind of sharing stories about how, he was apologetic towards them, and it seemed like he didn't really want to make a big deal out of it, like he was just doing it for the publicity to clear his name. It seemed like he honestly
he honestly wanted to do better.
He wanted to do better, and he wanted to understand. He wanted to express his wanted to say he was sorry. I don't remember the exact context of the tweet. I don't even think it's relevant right now.
No.
But whatever it was, like, this dude went behind the scenes and was trying to make it right and not trying to make it a public thing. And, good on him for that. And it's a shame. I mean, I know that you said it cost him being in WWE, but I think there were some other factors. Like, I know they didn't want to move to Florida. Was probably a thing, too.
Well, Justin, they were getting ready to go into WWE at the time.
Oh, were they? What was this, like, circa 2014 or 15, or what was the timing on that?
I don't know the exact timing. Yeah. I'm going to guess somewhere around there.
It's really, we're talking about, like, let's just face it, the Briscoes are probably the greatest tag team that never wrestled in a Vince McMahon promotion.
Yeah, you told me that, but I would take it a step further and say that they are one of the best tag teams of the last 10, 15 years, just
absolutely, no doubt about it. But to say it all time, I can't think of another tag team that didn't work for Vince at some point.
Well, the Young Bucks.
Yeah, true.
I guess they might have done enhancement stuff back in the day, right?
Yeah, they probably have. But yeah, I mean, it's the Young Bucks and them in terms of, and they've gone everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, they've wrestled so many people that have come up in the industry. You have so many people now saying, like, oh, this guy helped me get a job and stuff. I had heard that Kevin Steen was saying that, like, yeah, he helped me get a job, dude. And so really these guys, just helping out people. They want to put people over. They want to help them. Let's talk about the quick history real quick. So everyone probably knows by now our story of both of us getting back into wrestling around 14, 15 area. So tell me about when you first saw the Briscoes and what you thought. My opinion's changed over time, but what was your original first impression?
Okay, so I think when I first saw them, so there was this time where 2015-ish, I think, when I was really back in wrestling, and then I had my wife and kids go to Japan for a few months, and I consumed almost every wrestling show I could. I still had, DirecTV or cable at the time.
That's how it is when you get back into it. Like, it becomes an obsession for a little while. Like, I remember I was Googling, why can't I stop thinking about wrestling?
And I was watching Impact every week. I was watching the ROH weekly show every week when it was on a channel that people had or heard of.
Sinclair?
Yeah, I don't know how we were getting... I can't remember what channel it was on out here. But anyway.
Okay.
I was watching it every week, and I was watching Impact every week. And I heard the Briscoes, and I gotta say, like, it was... I love the promos, I love the violence and just the look on them, but I wasn't a fan of the whole Confederate flag thing, to be honest.
Oh, did they have a Confederate flag?
They would come out with some Confederate flag stuff for a while, but, they did end with doing that. But a lot of stuff they did in Japan, they were rocking the Confederate flag stuff, and I get it. There was the whole, kind of Dukes of Hazzard General Lee thing and all that. And, once that kind of soured in terms of people realizing what that flag really was, and it wasn't just, they did ditch it, so that's fine. But the whole, promos on the chicken farm and all that stuff, I mean, just such great stuff. And I think it was around the time probably Jay became the champ in ROH that, he kind of got on the radar
with
there.
Adam Cole?
He was fighting with Adam Cole. I think he beat Kevin Steen or something in 2014.
Yeah, I was watching back then a little bit here and there too. I didn't like them at all, to be honest. At first, I was super turned off because in my head I was like, dude, first of all, why are these Southern guys from Delaware? That confused me.
I was like, I didn't know there was any rednecks from Delaware, and they don't look either, at first glance, they don't look like rednecks, and they don't.
They did to me because they had the military gear, and Mark is missing multiple teeth, which is kind of part of their gimmick.
But they don't look like your white redneck guys necessarily. I could
see that they are a little darker toned, and they have like a little bit tanner skin and dark hair.
Jay had
and
the
stuff
dreadlocks
like that.
And everything. So that's what I thought. There's just like, wait, there's something like I like the redneck thing, but I also like how they don't, they're wearing the Carhartt shirts and all that stuff too. And I just like, they were just so goddamn believable, right?
Well, they were. I mean, when I seen them talk, I'm like, okay, these guys are not faking this at all. This is not an act, bro. Like, these guys probably actually talk like this. And then come to find out, they actually did. You know what I mean? Like, they're more, like we've talked about, they are themselves turned to 11. But, like, it's not that different, dude. Like, they actually talk like that. I couldn't even begin to do an impression. But, over the years, and actually, I remember seeing them versus the Young Bucks at Final Battle. And that was a great match. It ended by the Young Bucks giving them like 30 super kicks in a row. And it was just like, okay, these guys are actually legit. But, in the last year, I've become quite a fan of them, actually. And this was before the FTR stuff. When I saw them against the Kingdom at, what was it? It was ROH's last show ever. I don't remember. Or ROH not under Tony Khan, I forget if that was Final Battle, but they had a match with the Kingdom that was fucking great, dude. I remember I told you about it. You're like, I don't like Matt Taven. I'm like, you gotta watch this match, dude.
I'm a Matt Taven guy. I don't know. Maybe.
What do you think about? I know this is more of a Mark thing, but what do you think about the redneck kung fu? Because I think that's awesome.
What exactly is that? I think I've heard
they do like
the
kick and like they do like the Chinese like punch off to the side and stuff and and just like so great, dude.
No, they were great, and like I said, I didn't know rednecks were in Delaware, but that's awesome. They have an actual.
So they were educational.
Yeah.
If you want to see something really fun, Justin, they did a thing during COVID. They did a cinematic match at the fucking Briscoe farm.
Yeah, was it just those two, right?
Just those two, and it's pretty great because Papa, their dad's like a character too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the Papa Briscoe, he's the ref, and don't fucking kill each other. Just all right, make it clean. They were doing like crossbodies off onto trucks, and then one dude tried to drive away, and I think Mark was still in the truck, and he's dude. They were doing some risky shit. You know what I mean? Because it's not like WWE. They didn't take 10 takes. So.
Yeah, and they were doing their own stunts, obviously, like everyone else. But yeah, and just kind of going back to Jay. I mean, it seemed like they were just hitting another peak, and it's just the worst. And his daughters are still in the hospital. It seems like they're starting to get on the mend, but like,
well, one of them is just recovering movement. It's horrible to even say. I mean, I was seeing things like "pray for my legs." And it's just, oh my God.
And I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I have kids. Like, I think his daughters are 9 and 12 that were in the car, and my kids are 8 and 11. So I mean, it was pretty much the same thing. And it really hits home.
Is a type of trauma that you never really recover from, but you just try to make the best out of it. These kids, I can only imagine, the emotional stuff they're going through. It's going to take lots of time. And I hate to say, before you get over it, you don't get over deaths.
No,
but
never.
Before, before, you stop obsessing about it and stuff. And, I had a friend, car crashes are so common in America, sadly. I've had a friend whose wife had the same situation, exact same thing, head-on collision in rural East Coast. 2-lane highway, and she died on impact, and that was just so shocking to everyone, and it's just like, one day you're here, one day you're not. Appreciate what you have, and
who you have, I guess. I mean, and that's his
and
life.
It sounds like he definitely did. I mean, you see that he he would he would go to cheer practice with his daughter and put pink bows in his hair and play along with the girls and stuff. I mean, it reminds me a lot of Brody King in the sense that his true family man, doing what he could, to
Brody Lee, right?
Oh, sorry, Brody Lee, not Brody King. Although I'm sure Brody King is a good guy too.
Oh yeah, definitely, but he's still with us, thankfully. Yeah, it does have a similar feel to that, and like my instant, it almost was like that in a Kobe thing, because the Kobe news, kind of came in a similar way. I had a friend text me saying, "Hey, Kobe's helicopter crash doesn't look good," and I'm like, "What?"
It is kind of surreal. It's kind of surreal. Like it takes a second, and then you have to cope with the like, wait, it's like in my head, I still haven't fully accepted that I'll never see Jay again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, how could that be?
This one has hit me pretty hard, but the Kobe thing, like, I had a big attachment to Kobe in terms of, being growing up in LA, being a Laker fan, and the fact that he was drafted when I was these kids. God damn it! Shut up.
Are those kids? They sound like wild animals.
My kids.
But the Kobe thing, being from LA, and
when Kobe was drafted, he was
city.
17 years old, and I was like 14 or 15. I was in 9th grade, so it was like I felt a lot of people in LA, especially my age, they kind of felt like they grew up with Kobe. So that was a really hard one. That really kind of affected me for a while. It was really tough, and this one's tough too. And
let me say this. We never hope that anyone ever dies, obviously.
No,
although it is a must. But I will say this: seeing this happened with Razor, and this happened with Brody Lee and stuff. It is kind of beautiful seeing the community come together, and like you go on Twitter and people aren't arguing, although there were some horrible tweets that I won't even fucking show respect to. But for the most part, people are just sharing stories and talking positivity, and I really like to see that. But obviously, not at the, not because of the situation.
I saw a tweet that kind of, resonated with me. And it was, who the wrestler Gregory Iron is?
No, I never heard that name.
He's a indie guy that has like, I think he has like cerebral palsy or something, where his,
Oh.
and he still goes out there and does stuff, and he's an indie guy, but he kind of put a tweet out saying, when I see all these nice things about people that passed away, it makes me want to, we should be saying that about them when they're alive too. And that just kind of hit me. It's like, you appreciate those people around you now, and if you want to go on and fire something off about someone, that a nice story, like, we should just be doing that now. And just showing your appreciation for people. And man, I mean, it sucks sometimes that somebody has to pass away, or you have to lose something to realize how much you liked it or appreciated it or loved it. And
yeah, we do take stuff for granted. It's just like we expect them to be in the ring every week and perform, put their bodies on the line for us, and boom, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It's. I'm not saying you and I feel that way, but in general, fans, and you forget, like, they are just as fragile as any other person. All it takes is one vein to not have blood going through it. And,
I mean,
so,
usually with some of these deaths that come up, whether it was Scott Hall or,
Hana Kimura,
Chad
Gaspard.
No, well, I mean, I think there was rumors that Brody was sick before he passed, right? Or he had some kind of ailment he was dealing with.
Yeah, like, not long before, but yeah, it was like, oh, something's wrong.
Yeah, and, we knew that, Scott Hall didn't necessarily take good care of himself throughout his career, and, was abusing and using substances and had some issues he was dealing with. So, like, when those things come about, there's not always that sense of shock or just like, you know what I mean? But this was...
No, I know what you mean, man. This one was like some dude in some could say they're in their prime now, considering that Tony bought ROH, and now ROH is being pushed. They could have had the biggest exposure they've ever had, and hopefully Mark still does. But it's just out of nowhere. And it was just like, you just text me, and I just read that, and I'm like, what?
And Mark's birthday was the next day.
Oh boy.
And I know that whole family, they all live on that farm together, so. I know I'm not a religious guy, but, I just, hope and pray that or whatever, that, the mom gets the strength to take care of those kids, and the kids can get out of that healthy, and, they're on the mend, and that son that he has is, that son and wife are really going to have to dig deep. And I know that we've seen, and listen, we see the wrestling community, we've seen those GoFundMes whenever the wrestlers really have each other's back.
Yeah.
And that's something that makes me really, like, kind of, I don't know if proud's the right word to be a wrestling fan, because I really feel like wrestling fans, they really, really have each other's back when stuff happens, and wrestlers, they there's a good support system. That it's a good community, it seems like, when it comes to stuff like this. If you're one of those people that's, being an asshole about this, can you please, like, think about his two daughters that are in the hospital right now, and his wife that's without her husband, and his son, and come on.
I don't think anyone listening to this podcast is going to be like that. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're hating on anything involved in this, then it's like, you got to rethink some stuff there. Maybe rethink some stuff. So let's let's finish this one here, this segment here, and Jamie Pugh, right? Jamie Pugh.
Yeah.
Why don't I list some of Jay's accomplishments real quick in the ring? These guys were Combat CZW, Extreme Rising, Full Impact Pro, GCW, House of Glory, Impact, Jersey All Pro, New Japan, and Pro Wrestling Noah Tag Team Champions. So all that. They were never openweight 6-man tag team champions twice with Toriano.
That's awesome.
Which makes me want to kind of go back and watch those. That sounds fun, you know?
Yes, it does.
Jay was ranked 7 out of 500 in the PW 500 in 2015. And as far as Ring of Honor goes, I mean, those guys were 13-time tag team champions. 2 times, Jay was 2-time world champion. They were 6-man champions. Jay won the Honor Rumble. Jay's gotten 7 year-end awards. He's gotten the CM Punk Award, the Tag Team of the Year, Feud of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Feud of the Year, Tag Team of the Decade, Tag Team of the Year, and he's in the ROH Hall of Fame class. And in 2007, the Wrestling Observer newsletter called them Tag Team of the Year. And you know what? That's only what's listed here. Can you imagine all the indies that they are champions in that, you know? I mean, they are champions right now. So,
yeah.
He went out on top, dude. So.
Yeah, I mean, they honestly were as accomplished as possible. Like I said, without being in a Vince McMahon promotion. I mean, I know we've talked about the Young Bucks in that sentence too, but they put a strong case.
Well, I would say let's do a moment of silence, but I am sure that I will hear children screaming when I do that. So let's move on real quick. So Wrestle Kingdom 17, you didn't see it. Wrestle Kingdom. I hate how they call it Wrestle Kingdom. It's not Wrestle Kingdom. Let's call it New Japan versus Noah at Yokohama.
Yeah, I don't understand the insistence of that, if that's like a marketing thing or
branding, right? Like, oh, this is just as good.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I hear it was a pretty good show. So why don't you tell us about it, John? I missed it.
Well, I haven't seen
$29.95.
I haven't seen all of it either, and I didn't either. But I will tell this. The things I did see, I was so tired last night. I tried to watch it. You've been there. We've both been there. You're trying to watch it, and you're like, dude, I'm just fighting my own tiredness to watch this show.
Been there.
So the thing I saw that was nice was this guy, Oscar Loibe.
Is that one of those young lions that's wrestling in the, full-on singlet?
Oh, he's just got black tights.
It's another one then. Sorry. Forgive the yawn. It's the first one in a while.
That's the Russian guy. I don't remember his name. But no, Oscar Loibe, he's a big motherfucker. He almost looks like a Walter or Gunther type of guy. Not as heavy as Gunther used to be, but more like modern Gunther. You know, that slim, tall,
lean,
but still thick. So that guy looks pretty good, bro. He could be good. I like that. I like we're seeing these new young lions, the Gaijin young lions that are looking really, really good here. The Jay Briscoe tribute there, very emotional. Both Tanahashi and Marufuji brought out photos, and they announced Jay Briscoe as if he was wrestling. You know, they did like 13-time IWGP champions, 13 RH champions, Jay Briscoe, and then his music played. That was pretty emotional because, every wrestler was lined up. Everybody from the back was out there lined up. So that was great. And people probably know this, but they even shouted him out on SmackDown on Friday. You see that?
I heard that Michael Cole did, yeah.
Yeah, and NXT as well. So good on WWE. That's really awesome.
Yes, I mean,
they're not worried about
can't go wrong
competition
with doing that now.
No. So after that, there was some good tag matches. El Desperado versus Yohei. I thought it was okay. It was but it was good. I saw that Amaska, Junta Miyawaki, and Alejandro versus Tiger Mask, Taguchi, and Wato. And Amakasa is kind of like a little bit older version of Master Wato. He does the cool spinning flips, for his finisher. And it was okay, but nothing special. Now, the Kiyomiya and Inamura match versus Okada and Makabe, I heard that was absolutely great, and I didn't catch it. Inamura, I've been watching him and Noah over the past couple years. He's gotten to be like the kind of Ishii of Noah, the fucking meaty men slapping meat guy. So, yeah. Tadasuke beat Bushi, no one cares. Takahashi beat Hajime Ohara, which I heard Ohara actually did a lot of offense. Manabu Soya defeated Sonata, supposedly not a good match. But Takagi and Nakajima was supposedly awesome, and they fucked each other up and kicked each other in the head, all that good stuff. And then Naito defeated Kano with Keiji Muto challenging Naito for his final match ever. Is that a good opponent for Keiji Muto?
I think they have somewhat of a history together, and I think one of Naito's idols was probably him growing up. So, sure. Because I think Naito is a good dance partner for him. I don't really know if that's going to be Muto's last match, but if it is, that would probably be a good way to go out.
So tonight, actually, we have Darby Allin will be wrestling in Japan, by the way.
At Noah, right, with Sting?
Yeah, and that'll be in the Yokohama Arena also. Now, I like this because Hakushi, Jinbei Sasaki, he is great, dude. Or at least he used to be. I don't know if he's still as good as he used to be. What do you know about Hakushi?
I used to like him in WWE when he would do that Bret Hart matches. That he had a little Bret Hart program that was really good.
Now, did he write all over his body in WWE?
Yeah, I don't think he did it. Probably someone else painted it for him, but maybe he did. I don't know. The calligraphy kind of all over.
So here's what I'm trying to figure out. You've got Great Muta, Sting, and Darby Allin, right?
Mm-hmm.
They all have facial stuff, face paint or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You got Hakushi and Akira, who also have face stuff like paint. So is Naomichi Marufuji going to paint his face for this match? Or is he going to be the weird one?
Well, do you think he'll do the CM Punk kind of paint when CM Punk painted his face? Like Sting for that match or whatever?
That would be cool. I'll give you that. But
I don't think
you got to go watch some Jinbei Sasaki matches versus who's the guy that invented the Phoenix Plex that I don't remember his name?
The Phoenix
or the Phoenix? Yeah.
I don't know. Hayabusa?
Yeah, Hayabusa.
Oh, okay.
Hayabusa and Jinbei Sasaki are great. And sorry, I got the hiccups. Jinbei Sasaki always reminds me of Ishii body, but does crazy shit,
Oh, wow. Okay.
He can walk the ropes and stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm excited. So we'll see about that. You're gonna have to watch that match. Okay, we got some other news and stuff to talk about. This isn't gonna be a super long episode, guys, because I have the hiccups, and also I'm going to the movies soon.
What are you going to go see?
Okay.
Tell everyone.
Some anime movie. I don't even know the name of it, to be honest.
Okay. At least you're being
All right,
honest.
Justin. What heel turn did you never see coming? And then what heel turn did you see a mile away?
Are we talking about all time or?
Yeah, all time.
Off the top of my head. Okay. I'm going to say this. I will say The Rock at WrestleMania. I'm sorry. Survivor Series 98, the Deadly Games tournament. That was a great swerve. That is one of the best pay-per-views WWE's ever. Easy. No, No, I don't think we did. Because The Rock was starting to get over huge as a babyface in that end of '98. And they totally flipped it all in the course of this one pay-per-view. And it's honestly probably easily one of the best Survivor Series ever. No Survivor Series matches, as you would think in the traditional sense. But they weaved this storyline. This is when, if it was him or whatever, but this is probably Vince Russo's finest work ever. Or whatever he had in that era. Was The Rock being the corporate champ, and the Mankind thing was just wonderfully orchestrated.
Oh yeah, that was all cool.
And I think that was a big kind of turn. I mean, I think of Seth Rollins with the Shield.
Okay, you gave your answer. You gave your one answer.
Okay. Those are the two that really stand out in recent memory.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan with NWO.
I mean, that was pretty huge, bro.
Yeah.
And I will say that no one saw
Absolutely.
that one coming.
Yeah.
Even though we all should have, because now we're all like so used to.
Well, we all
how
knew Hulk was a
wrestling
piece of shit. I've never really been an NWO guy. I loved Hall and Nash, but like
I liked him. I always thought WCW was like low rent to me because I didn't really appreciate like the actual good matches, and like I did definitely think that like it was kind of like all these old WWE guys are now in WCW. Let me tell you this though. This is an observation I had. And sorry, we said the heel turn you saw coming a mile away. That would be the Big Show, right?
Which time?
Every time. Because he played heel like 20 times and he played face like 30 times throughout his career.
I don't really...
that dude would turn on a dime.
I mean, it could be just that Bret Hart double switch. We kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, that's true. But that one was so epic. Like, if you can see it from a mile away, but also it's kind of bad. I'll say this. I was a little surprised by the New Day heel turn because I just thought they were really bad. Like, when they started, I thought it was racist, even though I come to find out they themselves made the group. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was like the worst thing ever, and so did everyone else. And so they went heel. They did the Rock type of thing. And I thought they would have been dead a few months after they started. And look at how wrong I was,
Well, I thought, like, during the time, like, when they were doing it, and they were like, I went to a house show at the end of 2014 when they were in the middle of doing that as baby faces, and they came out as baby faces, and they were getting just like they got a really shitty reaction at Staples Center at the time, and I think a lot of people were like, these guys need to turn heel. And when
I don't think it was like that. I think it was so cheesy, bro, that like everyone booed it. It was bad. It was a bad
right. Well, what I'm saying is they were getting booed, so they might as well become heels.
Yeah, but it doesn't always work that way. If it's just like go away heat,
It was
sometimes it's like
heat,
I don't want to see
like,
these guys heel or babyface. I just don't want to see them.
They just did such a good job of turning go away heat into real heat, and then all of a sudden they got cool and people liked them. I mean, that might have been the biggest surprise for something that actually ended up working out was New Day.
That is definitely the definition of like hard work in wrestling. Like actually getting the fans to love you once they went heel and stuff. And yeah, but I kind of agree with you in the sense they wanted them to turn heel, as in like you can just see like these guys would be way more entertaining, annoying the fans, and they already had a funny act, but turn a little edge to it, similar to Becky Lynch, a little different actually because she was never hated, but when she finally went full heel, people were like, this person's fucking awesome.
Happens a lot, yeah.
Yeah, pretty common one. Okay, let me see here. I'm looking at some other stuff. Oh, okay, this was the observation that I had. So, you remember, like, back in the late 90s Attitude Era, the idea of the Hulk Hogan type of hero, it was like a joke, right? Like, Lex Luger, Hulk Hogan, patriotic, American, motivational, right? Like, that was kind of a joke back then.
It's a joke now. I don't know. Back then, it was pretty big. It worked, didn't it?
So I 100% disagree with you because I think Cody is that character.
No, Cody is
super over. And so you see Cody now, and it's like, wait a second, it's just one of those things where, fashion and stuff, it just keeps going in a circle. Yeah. Now you have Cody, who is this American, I'm not going to go that far, but, he's this American guy, and it's all about the hard work and almost that hustle, loyalty, and respect type thing, and, red, white, and blue colors with an American flag on his neck, and this guy is so over.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, is that wasn't working in AEW, but is working in WWE.
No, it was not working at all in AEW.
But I also
so it was still rejected by some fans.
Would not have. Well, I guess it could have worked in the Attitude Era because it worked with the Patriot for a little while. But
Del Wilkes.
I think Cody's works a little bit because there's that story of redemption.
And also the current, that type of babyface, any type of babyface nowadays has to have some edge to them, right? I think wrestling with the fucking broken or torn, pec, and I think that's kind of edgy.
Yeah, but
I think he does have some edge.
He was going to be over regardless of that situation.
Yeah, he did have and he had an amazing return. But lately I've been listening to their promos, and it's so much of this, like, say your vitamins and eat your prayers type of stuff. Like, I work hard, and, you can do the same thing. But, he's probably the only guy in the company that could potentially beat Roman Reigns. So it works. He's over. And are you excited to see him see his comeback in a few weeks?
Sure. I mean, I'm not really, a huge fan of his, but I am definitely intrigued by what they do with him, and if he's the guy that they throw out there to beat Roman. He's probably, as good as anybody in terms of having some momentum behind him to do it.
Yeah. Sorry, I just saw something where Mike Tyson accidentally said "Cold Stone is my man."
Oh, he was calling him Cold Stone constantly during that era.
He did. He thought he was an ice cream guy, huh?
No.
Do you have those over in LA? Cold Stone?
We do. There's not as many as there used to be, but they're here.
No, I think that was another craze too. The yogurt / ice cream.
The yogurt thing still came a little later. Yeah, like the yogurt land.
You're right. Froyo, what is it, Pinkberry and stuff?
Yeah, those are shutting down, but we still have Yogurtland and Menchie's. But those kind of started, COVID kind of killed those too.
You know what the current craze is? And the craze is only hitting Colorado now, but I'm sure it hit LA 10 years ago, is the boba tea / smoothie king type of places.
Yeah, we have
those are very popular now.
And also, well, at one point, remember it was cupcakes and gourmet burgers for a while,
I don't remember that. That was never here, but I'm just saying nowadays there's a lot of Asian drink shops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, let's move on to another creator talk here. What do you think about Botchamania?
I honestly, I know the concept. I've seen a few, but it's not anything that I've, made a part of my, consumption patterns. But
okay, you didn't watch every week?
No. I've maybe seen a handful of things, but I'm not really against
I used to go to his website every single week. I kind of liked it for a long time, except you know what happened, bro? It was the Simpsons jokes started getting old, which I've told you. I'm tired of the Simpsons reference. I love the Simpsons. I love the Simpsons. I've seen every episode in the 90s, but the thing is the references over and over and over again. Okay? So there was that, and whoa, Maki Ito just posted a picture in a panties and a bra. Anyways, changing There's a new guy out called Promo Joe who's pretty good. Have you seen his stuff?
Nope. Not
Okay.
knowingly.
He had a good one where it was like then, now, forever, together. You know, the WWE catchphrase.
Yeah.
And like on the then and all the things, instead of like all woo and Bret Hart, it was like all Vince McMahon.
You know what?
Hold on.
One. I gotta tell these kids.
You know, and it was every year it was like match of the year. You know, Abu Zago versus Naposeno in the Carokian Hall. Like, yeah, right. You fucking saw it when.
Do you, Justin? Do you know what famous wrestling figure or person lives in Colorado?
When you say it, I'll be like, oh yeah, maybe.
Vince Russo.
I know, yeah, he does, yeah.
That is just weird.
I'm not sure what
It's
part
weird
of
that
Colorado
he
he lives in, but he lives like...
Boulder.
He lives in Boulder?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Oh, because I thought he lived in like, Bloomfield or something like that.
Broomfield. I think he lives in Boulder, dude. I think that's what I saw.
And I know he moved out of there for a while and then moved back or something.
So what wrestlers live in LA?
Well, Kushida.
Kushida.
Eli
Clark
Drake
Connors?
used to, huh?
Clark Connors.
Yeah, well, any of those guys. I bet you Excalibur probably still lives out here.
Oh yeah, of course. So, that was just a quick question to move on to something else real quick. What are you interested in checking out?
The Miz lives out here, I bet.
Okay. Are you interested in checking out the Raw 30th anniversary?
I am. It's a matter if I remember when it happens to try and get it on, but because it'll probably be on like a little bit after.
You can watch it on Hulu.
Right, but I have to wait the next day, right? It's not live or anything.
Dude,
yeah. And to watch it live, I would probably get home about a half hour into it or whatever, so.
You know, a lot of these guys, though, they're bringing back are just the normal, the guys they always bring back.
Right.
The difference is they do have Ric Flair there, so
yeah,
he's kind of been in and out of WWE.
Not necessarily, want to see need to see Ric Flair.
Yeah, he said supposedly he'll be showing his dick to the audience.
Again.
Jimmy Hart, not that interesting. I liked him when I was young, though.
No, nothing wrong
DDP.
with Jimmy Hart. I don't know if I need to see him. I don't know if I associate him with Monday Night Raw necessarily, though.
No, this is a weird mix. And then Hulk Hogan's going to be there. I guess he's good now.
Zero interest.
To come back.
Well, he has been
the
for a while, allegedly.
The Undertaker, who's done so many returns, it's ridiculous. Although, The Undertaker in a non-wrestling thing could be kind of cool. Because he's been doing, the cinematic matches and stuff a couple years ago. I don't think he's just come out and cut a promo, has he?
Well, if you consider the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's true. The granddaddy, or what's his name?
What?
The big daddy?
Godfather?
Papa Shango.
Oh.
The Godfather, yeah. Kurt Angle. It looks like
Kurt Angle.
Alundra, Medusa.
Okay.
And Teddy Long, is that his name? Holla, 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 holla.
Yeah, that's Teddy Long.
That dude's weird as fuck. I never got his thing.
I don't know if there's like a name that would be like, oh my god, I gotta watch this.
Yeah, it seems like all the normal shit. Now, if they had like Stone Cold and Bret Hart, that'd be cool. But
yeah, I mean that would help. But I don't know if there's a name that would be like, oh my god, I gotta see this. Even Stone Cold, or The Rock, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I'll say this: they had the prediction show on Wrestling Observer Live recently, and someone predicted that Stone Cold would win the Royal Rumble and win the championship at WrestleMania.
Oh, stop!
So we'll see if that happens.
I don't think so.
Okay, let's see some other. There were some goofy predictions. I thought the most realistic one was that Takeshita and Bandito will both be TNT champions in the next year. I was like, that's pretty realistic.
I can see that.
Okay, the prediction that won last year, I'll tell you, and it was true. He predicted true. The prediction 1 year ago was MJF will never show up on Rampage for the entire year, and he was right.
Wow,
that's kind of fucked up, huh?
Yeah,
like they put CM Punk on Rampage, they put Moxley, Hangman, but Maxwell, he's too good for that. Okay, let's see, Ring of Honor on Twitter. Okay. Oh, wow, this is pretty cool. They, someone posted a bunch of pictures of Jay, Briscoe outside the Hammerstein Ballroom in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool vandalizing, wouldn't you say?
Oh, like they posted him. Why? Oh, just to honor him, like a mural.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
No, like a bunch of small pictures of him taped up all over. Like it looks like electric boxes and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And Ring of Honor came out and says, if you posted these outside the Hammerstein Ballroom, please DM us. That'd be fucked up if their response was like they called the cops on him for vandalizing.
No.
Okay. Jerry Lawler wrestled today.
Okay.
I believe. So, is that even newsworthy, or is that no one cares?
I think he still is doing it occasionally.
How is he allowed to do indie? Like that is not very WWE to let fucking the King go do indie matches. I guess they're like, well, he's not a draw.
I mean, he's still doing stuff for WWE, I think, right? He still does like the pay-per-view
He commentates
pre-shows.
Once in a while.
Is he still a commentator?
Yeah, once in a while he does, and he says like racist shit on accident, but it's still kind of funny because I don't know. What did he say about? What his last thing was like? Oh, I wonder if that Japanese guy next will do the ramen noodle bomb. You're like, oh boy. Well, that's cool. I wonder if he still does pile drivers. If that's
probably.
By the way, you want to see a good one? Go watch Kevin Steen versus Jerry Lawler in a pile driver match in a baseball stadium.
Oh, okay, sure.
More news. Jay Briscoe's daughter has regained feeling in her legs and has some movement in her lower extremities. They have a long road, but this is huge progress. So, good news to hear. It's going to be, as we said before, a long and tough journey. But any news like that is good news.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like she's working her way to being on the men's. But yeah.
I watched some clips from Kitamiya versus Okada. It looks like Kitamiya kicked Okada right in the fucking head.
I saw that. I saw that online with him kicking him and kind of Okada ignoring the first couple.
Yeah, that was pretty funny actually. By the way, a little trivia. Who was Love Machine?
Love Machine?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I believe Love Machine was Art Barr.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I've heard of Art Barr and stuff.
Yeah, he was Eddie Guerrero's partner back in the day.
Oh, right. Okay, well, in Mexico
and then he
or
died,
something?
like, he passed away. Yeah, but he was a white guy.
Right, well, Art Barr.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's not like Arturo Barista. So, well, look, dude, I am just looking through news here. It doesn't seem like there's anything too huge. I'll take one more look here. Let's see. Probably nothing big. Kevin Owens versus Solo Sikoa on SmackDown. That'll probably be pretty good. Sami Zayn will be on trial this Friday.
Oh, is it Friday? I thought it was Monday.
Oh, no, it is Monday. You're right. He will be on trial. What did he do wrong?
I don't know. There's always something with them. They can't just
You called it the best story of the year, so I want to. Don't just say there's always something. You need to know what's going on, bro.
No, well, you did
the
too.
Best story of the year, and I have no clue what's fucking going on. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Let's see. Mercedes Moné was at NJPW's LA Dojo this week.
Yeah,
so that's cool. I love that she is, dude. She was training with like Tokyo Joshi and Stardom. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's like she's a mark, man.
Well, she's also a weeaboo too. So it's
a what?
What do you mean what?
What did you say?
She's a weeaboo.
What the hell is that?
Just like me and you.
Okay.
Let's see. A weeaboo is a white person who behaves or seeks to... No, that's wrong.
Yeah, I've never heard that term before.
A person who has an unhealthy obsession with Japan and Japanese culture, ignoring or even shunning their own race and cultural identity. Weeaboos talk in crappy Japanese with the 8 words they know. While they claim to love and support Japanese culture, counterintuitively, they tend to stereotype Japanese culture by how it appears in their favorite anime. Okay, so I guess we're not weeaboo fans, but it's just, someone who likes Japan.
Right. Well, I was thinking
of she is one.
The Gwen Stefani comments or whatever from a few weeks ago.
Dude, I think Harajuku Girls is a great song, by the way. I don't care if it's stereotypes and all that. It's good, dude. It's actually a good song. And what did Gwen Stefani say a few weeks ago?
I'm Japanese.
Oh, okay. Kushida noted that Mercedes Moné sent him a direct message asking if she could come to his seminar. And he thought she was joking, but she showed up. So that's pretty damn awesome, dude. That's like, I've heard that she's not the most humble person, but it sounds like she just wants to learn and get better. So it's all really, we'll find out in San Francisco. No, not San Francisco. What's south of San Francisco? San Jose. We'll see. You excited for that show?
Sure. I'm not going to pay for it. Is that another thing that's supposed to be paid for?
Just don't say that out. You're saying the quiet part out loud, Justin.
I just don't like them doing that. That's all.
Well, how did you watch pay-per-views when you were fucking 18, dude?
Black box. Or someone would tape it for us. Or sometimes we would chip
You had a black box?
I didn't have a black box, but we knew someone that
You
did.
knew somebody?
Yeah.
Dude, I only saw one of those when I was a kid, and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Did they get in trouble for it, though?
I don't think so. I don't know anyone that ever got in trouble for it.
I'm sure someone got in trouble for it, dude.
Well, yeah. I mean, usually they just stopped working or something. I think.
All right. Well, guys, it's been a short one. Again, there's not a whole lot. I didn't really want... One thing that I'm kind of avoiding talking about is Vince McMahon and the whole...
sale thing? Yeah, I mean, that's... yeah.
We'll talk about that when it happens, right? And even then, we might be burnt out from the news because everyone's going to talk about it. But we are aware of that. It's just not now, right?
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't actually do it last week because then we would have to talk about that Saudi Arabia thing that was just nothing.
Yeah, that was another text I got from you.
Or
when you send me...
I could see that they floated out there just to see what the public response would be, or the Saudis came with a strong offer, and WWE's like, look, we're going to leak a little bit, and you'll see how much of backlash we're going to take. So that's why we can't take your offer.
I do hate conspiracy theories, but I actually do think that could be true because everyone was talking about it and it didn't come from nowhere. So something weird happened.
Yeah, I really think they floated it out there just to prove to the Saudis, like, look, we can't sell to you.
Yeah. Or maybe they did it for Vince.
Or they told Vince, look, we can't sell to them. Look what's going to happen. I don't know.
And he's like, but this is the most money ever. So... we'll see. So next week we'll be doing wrestling and Prince Nana. We're gonna have a 3.5 hour full retrospective on Prince Nana.
He'll be actually in person too.
Yeah, that's not true, guys. We've never even mentioned Prince Nana on the show.
Yeah.
So, but we are somewhat semi in the process of getting someone on the show. We'd like to have... There's wrestlers that I talk to that are big, and the wrestling guy has not been on the show. I was about to say something else, but
No, not yet.
maybe you need to text him and tell him, hey man, we're gonna come to that thing. Can we do a quick? You know what? This is stuff we should be talking about after the show. So I'm just gonna end it. Thank you guys for listening. At John Ensman on Twitter, at InRing Art, Justin on Instagram or on Twitter. We love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Love
we
you.
appreciate you. Jay Briscoe, rest in peace.
Yes.
And we will... Anything else, Justin?
I think that's it, man.
Cool. And we will see you guys later.
Later.